My clock says 11 o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting to order and thank you. We have a few guests. Mike Patterson, former director. It's good to see you today. Bobby Stem with AGC. John Cox from the Trust. And Lori Peterson from the Rail Associates. Glad to have you guys today. The Secretary will call the roll, please.
Mr. Coburn.
Here.
Mr. Grimsley.
Here.
Mr. Frymuller.
Here.
Mr. Shannon. Mr. McCown.
Here.
Mr. Dyson.
Here.
Mr. Alexander. Mr. LaForge. Mr. Peterson.
Here.
I will ask for approval of minutes of the last commission meeting.
I'll move.
Second. All in favor? We're a little short on commissioners today. We got a 6-0 vote on that. So the consent docket contains items through 15 through 16. These were all discussed in detail. Mr. Secretary, am I running by anything that I don't have you on my agenda for anything? Okay. In detail, if anyone would like to pull any items for discussion, speak up. Otherwise,
Move for approval of the consent docket.
Second.
all in favor? Items number 15, Mr. Finley. Huh? 17? Okay. Mr. Teagler, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Item 17, I have 3 engineering contracts this month. Part A is a statewide all districts off-system bridge inspections. The National Bridge Inspection Standards require that all bridges on public roads be inspected once every 2 years. The department has qualified the following consultants to perform inspections. We have Burgess and Nyepel, CEC Corporation, Consor Engineers, EST, Garver, Guy Engineering Services, H.W. Lochner, Kimley Horn and Associates, MKEC Engineering, Olson Associates, and Walter P. Moore and Associates. The aggregate not to exceed amount for these 11 contracts is $6,685,428.63. Part B, statewide all districts are off-system bridge inspections as well. This is the same except with our CED contracts. This is with CED 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. These 5 contracts, our agreements is $2,938,130.62. And finally, Part C, Muskogee County. The department has selected White Engineer Associates to prepare construction plans for State Highway 100 bridge over the Arkansas River. Total not to exceed amount is $1,126,793. This project is in the 8-year construction work plan with a scheduled let date in 2023. Approval is recommended, and I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Tim, remind me what 17B, the CED. I'm sure you've explained it before, but I'm not recalling what
What the CED
means. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
Okay. There are 8 CEDs, and in this agreement, we have agreements for them to do.
Remind me what a CED is.
That's our circuit engineering districts.
Okay.
So it's a smaller group of folks that do the inspections.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All vote? You may continue with item
Okay.
number 18.
Item 18 are my engineering contract supplements. I have two this month. Part A is the statewide off-system bridge inspection. This is our older contract that we're just trying to wrap it up. This is with Kimley Horn and Associates. The total aggregate increase for this supplement is $118,000. Part B in Muskogee County, Commission District 1. We previously authorized Holloway, Updike, and Bellin to do the final plans for US 69. The supplement not to exceed amount is $250,000. This project is in the 8-year construction work plan with a scheduled let date in 2024. Approval is recommended, and I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions?
Motion to approve?
Second?
I'll vote. Thank you. Item number 19.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Item 19 are the change orders on projects that have a cumulative total of change orders of $75,000 or less. This item is presented for your information only, but I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Are there any questions on those? If not, go ahead to,
Okay, item number 20, parts A through double E. There's the change orders on projects that have a cumulative total of change orders greater than $75,000. Your approval is recommended, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
are there any questions?
No
Not-
questions, I move for approval.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Item number 21, the proposed bid openings.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, item 21 is proposed bid openings. We have the final April 2020, the tentative May and June 2020. The department recommends approval.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you very much. Item number 22 is the settlement for damages to the state property, presented by Ms. Williams.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Settlements for damages to state property, we have Part A and Part B, both in Tulsa County. The department recommends and requests acceptance of these settlement offers.
Move for approval.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Thank you very much. Item number 23, Mrs. Moore.
Chairman, Commissioners, item number 23 is regarding updates to 3 administrative rules. Part A is revoking the Title 730, Chapter 1, Subchapter 3, Section 6. The passing of Senate Bill 457 removes the authority of the election of the Director of the Department of Transportation from the Transportation Commission and places it with the governor. So in order to be compliant with Senate Bill 457, this rule needs to be revoked. Part B is amending Title 730, Chapter 1, Subchapter 5, Section 1. At this time, the division engineers have the authority to approve and execute change orders and supplemental agreements in the amount of $75,000. The amendment would change the authority from $75,000 to $150,000, which is still in compliance with State Statute Title 61, Section 121. These change orders and supplemental agreements will remain on the commission agenda as information-only items for you. Part C is amending Title 730, Chapter 45, Subchapter 1, Section 2. In 2019, the governor designated the city of Norman as the recipient of the annual appropriations for the Urbanized Area Formula Program. Previously, it was the University of Oklahoma. The update is necessary to bring the administrative rule current with the governor's designation. All 3 proposed administrative rules were published in the Register, which provided for a 30-day comment period, which ended December 16th, with no comments received. A public hearing was held at the department for the rule amending the DE's authority from $75,000 to $150,000 on December 16th. No comments, written or verbal, were received. Upon the approval of this item, the department will file the updates with the governor and the legislature for further approval. Approval of this item is recommended, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much. Item number 24 is for the final approval of the county designation order FY 2020 from Ms. Williams.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Agenda Item 24 is request for final approval of the county designation order for FY 2020 in accordance with Title 69, Section 636.3, subsection B. The designation order is prepared for use by the County Road Machinery and Equipment Revolving Fund. It's been presented and approved by the ODOT County Advisory Board. Annually, this designation order is created and used to determine the ranking by which counties can participate in the Equipment Revolving Fund. Those counties receiving the least appropriations per mile are given highest priority. Calculations are based on revenue generated from various tax collections and certified roadway mileage. The County Advisory Board has deemed it critical to progress through the designation order so that all counties have equal access to participate in the revolving fund. Your approval is recommended, and I will answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second?
All in favor? Here's the part what a lot of folks come for today.
I know. I don't know why you put me at the end of the thing. You put me at the beginning. Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Item number 25 are recommendations from the January 16th bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from that bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. It's call order 105, 115, 120, 125, 130, 140, 150, 160, 165, 170, 172, 175, 180, 185, 190, 195, 200, 205, 207, 215, 220, 225, 230, 242, 250, 265, 272, 280, 290, 300, 310, 313, 315, 325, 330, and 335. It is recommended that the following items from that bid opening referred to by call order be rejected, and that's call orders 255 and 265 in lieu of the combined project, which was call order 265. And lastly, it is recommended that the decision regarding award or rejection for the following item from that bid opening referred to by call order be deferred in accordance with state statutes until the next regularly scheduled commission meeting in March, and that's call order 330. And this concludes the recommendations for award, and your approval is requested.
Are there any questions? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
That's not me. It's usually me that's,
Somebody's holding out.
yeah, all right.
Thank you,
We got it unanimous. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to have a director's report by Director Gatz.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, just to provide you with a little bit of an update, we are continuing to make good progress on our transit plan and this public survey that we have out right now. We have undertaken efforts to make sure that we're getting good input from community stakeholders and users, and we have hosted several meetings. We've got a couple more coming up, one in Ponca City this week on February 6th and one in Woodward on February the 10th with both the rural transit providers and the users of those systems. We've also got an online survey right now that's going that is at the website oktransitplan.org, and that'll be online through March the 6th. And we want any Oklahoman that's interested in transit to be able to participate in that survey, and we'll capture those stakeholder comments and criteria in that survey. All of this is intended to better understand, for the department to better understand who's using transit, where and why they're traveling, and what we can work on with the rural transit providers to enhance the level of service that we're providing. So really excited about the development of the plan, and thus far in the process, all is going well. We've had a meeting in Tulsa the other night. Two major, much-needed interstate projects, both in Tulsa and Oklahoma City. They're going to have significant impacts on the travel and public. We're hoping to get public participation. The meeting held in Tulsa on January 30th was related to the first phase of the widening of Interstate 44 west of the Arkansas River and the reconstruction of the I-44 US 75 interchange. Again, this is a significant undertaking in Tulsa in the I-44 corridor. That segment that is west of the river is the oldest segment of interstate that we have in Oklahoma. And it is definitely in need of some work. The interchange with US 75 has a lot of operational issues and doesn't move traffic very well. So it's a priority for the department. We're about to undertake the first phase of what will be a multi-phase, multi-year project. So we have a meeting coming up on February the 18th here in Oklahoma City. That's an opportunity for the public to learn about plans to work on Interstate 35 between the Fort Smith Junction, I-40 and I-35 junction, and the I-44 junction to the north, just north of 63rd Street. And in that segment, it has operational issues also, and it is under capacity. So it still has sections of it in that segment that are 4 lanes. We'll be looking at potentially widening those to 6 lanes. So again, another opportunity for the public to participate. The off-Broadway closure that we had over the weekend at Interstate 235 and I-44 went extremely well. First and foremost, I want to thank the public for their patience with us while we close that interstate. That's something the department does not take lightly. Anytime you close interstate interchanges, it presents extreme challenges for the public. But it was necessary. We closed it Friday night, opened it back up early this morning, and we're able to accomplish all of the work that we needed to get done. Primarily that was related to hanging beams in that area that are on one of the flyover ramps. Allen Contracting is the contractor up there, and they had a tremendous plan working with their subcontractor, American Bridge. They executed it really, really well and overcame a few challenges during the course of that work, but those beams are up. To give you a little bit of an understanding of the magnitude of that operation, each one of those beam connections has 500 bolts that have to be bolted into place. So again, that is to the credit of the contractor and the help that they provide us in a well-executed plan. So we thank them for that work, and again, thank the public for their patience because, again, that's a significant project. That won't be the last time that we have to close that interchange to get to the end, but this one went very well. Secretary Elaine Chao, Secretary of Transportation in the US DOT, announced that she has an initiative to fight human trafficking across this country. And human trafficking is something that is a problem of tremendous magnitude in the United States. And Oklahoma has signed on to the Secretary's initiative. We are going to work with her to enhance our employees' understanding of human trafficking issues and enhance their ability to watch for trouble signs out there as they perform their daily duties. So we'll be working on that along with the Turnpike Authority. It brings us together as partners in the transportation industry, and we're going to use our resources and bring them to bear to try to provide whatever assistance that we can. So again, human trafficking is a major problem. It affects lives and people, and we're going to do everything we can to be paying attention. Also, we received a notice of funding availability from USDOT related to infra grants and federal funding. They announced that we've got the opportunity to apply for the next round of these grants, which there's estimated to be about $900 million available for projects that advance national and regional economic goals and certainly assist in the movement of traffic and freight. At least 25% of the infra grant funding will be allocated to rural projects, so we feel good about Oklahoma's chances to compete. And the department's been very successful in pursuing these grants in recent years. In 2018, the project that we just talked about, I-44 and US 75 in Tulsa, received a infra grant, which allowed us to accelerate that work and do even more than we originally had planned. And these proposals were announced last week, and we are working diligently to prepare some candidate projects that will be submitted on behalf of Oklahoma. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that would complete the director's report. I'll be happy to answer any questions that the commission might have.
Any questions? Thank you very much. There's no other comments. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor? We're officially adjourned.